Welcome back once again to the ASUS ROG Dreamleague. We have one more game for you guys tonight on the B stream. It's going to be apparently super strong dinosaurs, which is totally wrong. I don't even know how they have that icon, but it's Fnatic versus 4ASC.
Yeah, we're not changing.
I saw the worm or dragon dinosaur. Is it supposed to? It looks like a worm. I'm sorry. It really does.
I don't know, man. I didn't see it. I wasn't paying
Nothing matters anymore. So
yeah. Well, I can tell you what still matters. This is the last game, and it's not best of 3.
It's not best of 3. It's best of 1s. 3 of them.
3 of them.
And so far, 4ASC have won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So they're doing quite well. And I would say the last game was a bit more convincing than game number 1.
A lot more convincing. That was not only a fast win, but very, very surprising to me the way they won. It felt like they had Fnatic just giving up in front of them. Like, yeah. I think Fnatic were still in the game, and then this move that was, I keep talking about it like giving up because it was such a dramatic mistake. Like not pushing out side lanes and going for the risky Roshan against heroes like Earthshaker, against Slark. And even when they got caught out, Slark jumped in alone, Dark Packed as any Slark would, and got solo ravaged and Dark Packed the Ravage away.
Yeah.
So like the Ravage was completely gone and they just got completely stomped. I don't know.
All right, so we're in the draft now. We can see that Magnus is going to be banned out once again by 4ASC. Just, I guess, more respect to Arise. And I don't know what Fnatic's game plan is going to be after having like a close game where your draft is quite good. And then another game where I don't necessarily know if they kind of were outdrafted, but it wasn't in such a bad way that I feel like they should have lost in 20 minutes.
I'm surprised they got no momentum on their safe lane support in that game. Because they made nothing happen. And we talk about how Trixie makes a lot of space and so on, but how much space can you contribute to him, and how much is it that the supports were a little bit inactive and just let the Razor to dry out on mid lane? Like, they would probably need to make rotations towards mid to stop at least the Razor from dying, and maybe even secure a kill on Viper, because the matchup is really even, Razor Viper, but if someone dies, then suddenly it's really skewed. Snowballs.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the case, and we saw it reflected pretty well in the last game. So 4ASC actually going to be removing the Centaur that they didn't have it last game, did they? No, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Trixie played it, yeah.
Yeah, Trixie played it.
So they're going to start out with the Viper again, feeling quite confident, leaving the Razor in the pool. They're like, yeah, come at me, bro. Pick your Razor.
Yeah, that's the taunt pick right there, just straight up Viper.
You know what I love about it too is that they see the Skywrath's already gone. Yeah. That's like the one hero where I would say if you left Skywrath in the pool, then maybe they would be okay with letting you have the Viper, because Skywrath just makes it so ganking him is so easy. Like you concussive shot, dead hero.
Yeah, that's the power of Skywrath. I mean, he's an amazing early game support. Later on in the game, he's not that strong compared to heroes like we see right now, the Jakiro. Sometimes played as a core, but his support in the late game is really, really amazing as well. Yeah. Ice Path can be a game breaker. Even though it's a very short disable, the positioning on it is so good. And while, okay, not hiding any cards here is Fnatic, they are revealing what they want to do. They're going to crush your towers or die trying.
I mean, starting off with these so early, like Death Prophet is clearly a high value pick, and Jakiro in this series at least has been kind of overlooked. So I don't know if picking the Jakiro straight up was really what they wanted to do, unless they're just so YOLO about the 5-man that they don't care about showing it.
Yeah, I think that has to be the case, what you said, because I agree, Jakiro could definitely have been hidden until later on, but yeah, there's no real twist to be expected, I think, to Fnatic's draft. When you go Jakiro and DP this early, you can try and like pick something else or whatever, but you're really committed to this pushing.
Yeah. And
that puts 4ASC in a good spot, because all you need to do is have better team fight, and you can already win the games from there. DP is an amazing team fighter though.
Yeah, her damage output, especially once you hit level 11, that's the big one.
Yes.
I mean, your exorcism goes from 4 spirits to 12, and I mean, tripling your damage output is more or less insane. And of course, that's not even including witchcraft, which gives you more spirits too. So for ASC, they're going to go with Tide, so kind of leaning towards what you said with the team fight. Now, if I'm looking at Fnatic right now, I just want to make sure that I have some kind of disable, because I think one of the biggest problems that a lot of teams run into with Death Prophet is that sometimes you can damage a lot of people, but you can't kill anyone. You know, the damage is definitely very high, and if you're going for a slow siege, that's fine. but I really like to see other heroes partnered with it that at least can hold people in place. If you can manage to get away with it, I think Puck is really nice, but it kind of spreads you thin on experience and like who gets the solo lanes.
Yeah, Puck would work pretty well. I still think that even something like an ES can work really well in this, just because of the ease that you have of stunning several heroes and just running them down with DP. And DP, I always love to see DP run Rod of Atos. I think it's so good in many cases if the enemy is going to contest you. If you know they're not going to contest you at all, going Atos makes no sense because it pretty quickly fades off. I mean, it's still very low cooldown slow, but very low cooldown slow is not that valuable in the mid game.
Right.
So if the enemy is going to fight you, or you think that they will, rushed Atos is really, really strong.
They actually decided to ban out not just the Necrophos on the side of 4SC, but also Rubik. And I mean, Rubik stealing Exorcism can be pretty scary. I mean, heck, stealing Ice Path even is good. So having the long range kind of disable where you can pick and choose your targets is nice. I kind of think that 4ASC might be leaning towards something like Bat and maybe looking to put the Tidehunter on support again. Just because Bat is great at being able to just be like, okay, we have the vision advantage, we catch the DP dies, and then suddenly your push is just done.
And not only that, you can also prep before the enemy pushes, of course, with the Firefly, making a nice little road for the enemy to run along, and that also pulls the creep wave so that the enemy has to tank purely with their heroes. Not really a problem when you have Jakiro, but still. But yeah, as you say, if you can get the jump in and the pullback with Batrider, Batrider has seen a little bit less play bit by bit as we go into the later patches, but he's still really useful against push lineups. Because that's when he can really pick and choose his target.
Whenever you can isolate like the most important hero is really where Bat shines. And he's also great for high ground defense as well.
It is hard to play him though against a Jakiro if it's a core Jakiro and he gets Yule Scepter early.
Yeah,
then if you jump in, he Yules you and then just Ice Path, you're dead.
And then you die.
Yeah, it's one nice counter, but we don't know right now whether it's going to be a support or core Jakiro. I actually have no idea if Fnatic like to run Trixie Jakiro. It doesn't sound like a hero he would shine on, to be honest. Maybe he plays it really well, but
it's not that complicated, though, to be fair.
No, but he normally plays the more strengthy kind of charge in.
Dude, Jakiro's got 6 stack games. He's so powerful.
He does.
Sorry, I'm just being devil's advocate again.
It's fine. I'm just not too sure about the Trixie Jakiro. Maybe they will prove me wrong, make me happy. But it's going to be an Ancient Apparition coming out here from Fnatic. Pretty good way to deal with Viper, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, shattering any hero that has innate like resistances or something like that is really good, obviously. And just because of the fact that you know Viper's going to be going early mech, you offset the heal, that's also nice. And even just being able to deep push lanes a bit later on into the game where you're not fighting like non-stop. Both these teams have shown a tendency to play a little bit more passive for quite some time, actually. The first game, they kind of sat around for about 15, 20 minutes before they decided to really go at it. So
they did. It was, with the exception of a Slark running around and like looking for anything he could solo kill and then running into a Ravage and dying. That was pretty much the action, but as you say, AA does play really well if it turns into a little bit of a slower game, but when you pick DP though, you kind of want to keep the steam going. And I like that they banned out the Slark in second phase, because I still don't think they should first phase ban Slark.
Right.
But they needed to get rid of him. Even if Slark is weak against 5-man Dota, I mean, they've been picking 5-man Dota in the 2 other drafts as well, and they could not play it because of the Slark, because of him interrupting their entire team, just forcing them around and jumping on them. So it's a good ban, and I feel it's very, very warranted in this series.
I would even say that Fnatic has the best Slark dealing with team, like right now, of all 3 games.
Pretty much, yeah.
All of their heroes can hit in
they have
like,
amazing heroes against Slark, to be fair, but just the style of play. It's, you know, if you manage to gather up and go as 5, you're good against the Slark, but sometimes it can be very hard because he will be pushing side lanes or looking for kills on your solo heroes or your jungle heroes.
Yep.
And Fnatic has had some really good aggressive wards as well, keeping good track of where the enemy is. So at least now they won't have to think about that. And on Fnac's side, I also think that the Lycan ban was really necessary when you see this much push coming out.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that you have to ban out the Lycan. Necro, I'm not as convinced about, but with Wisp still being available, obviously neither of these teams are really known for playing Wisp that much. But with it available, I think you got to give some credit to the Necro as well.
I think it's just the worry of sustain, really, that they don't want to have to deal with. And plus, it's so hard to punish a Necrolite pick. If the Tidehunter goes bottom, and it's Necrophos versus Tide, even in a 1v1, the Necro is going to crap all over the Tide. There's nothing you can do in that matchup. It's a ranged hero, you have constant harass from the Heartstopper, you're going to more or less free farm, and it kind of leads me to believe that 4ASC might be leaning more towards just going for, again, the defensive lanes, and not really trying to do much unless they want to try to roam on the DP, which is the one thing that I think Fnatic are going to have to be wary of, is how often that DP actually does get ganked.
Yeah, Arise needs to have a good start, for sure. He really does. And Honey having a good start as well, farming up a lot on the safe lane, I assume. You can go aggressive with the picks they have, but I just expect them to be on safe lane. Because you normally want to get some momentum before you start pushing as 5. And if you go off lane, you're kind of risking everything.
Yeah.
With a tri lane. So playing safe is probably the best. But when they get momentum with this Alchemist, it could be pretty strong. The Acid Spray combination with Exorcism.
He's a really good frontline hero, and I think functions not the same as Lycan, but similarly is that one hero who's in the front that you actually don't want to have to use all your ults on, you know? Like, if you Ravage a Lycan and you, like, Fire Blast and Viper ult a Lycan, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. He might not die even, you know, if he has a BKB. Alchemist is the same way if he gets, like, 1 or 2 items up and just tanks himself pretty heavily. You just stay in the front with Chemical Rage, and it's like, okay, just come
Very
at
good
me.
against Viper as well.
Yeah.
The Viper can't really stop him, and same for Ogre Magi. Sure, he has sort of bursty damage with his Fire Blast as long as he multicasts it, but the Ignite is completely nullified by the fact that Alchemist is going to regenerate so much. So we'll see how this works. And that Witch Doctor pick into the AA, really not caring that much about the AA Ice Blast, because Witch Doctor is a lot about his heal. Sure, he's even more about his ulti and his cask, but the heal is definitely a big part of it. I'm not even sure if you consider the AA against him.
Well, it could also just be solely for the Death Ward. Like, if you follow it up with a Tidehunter Ravage and things like that, it can be really strong. And I mean, heroes like Jakiro, AA, in the late game, if you have like an Aghanim, so you're going to shred pretty heavily if you manage to get something big going. And all right, we're going to see the Void last pick. It could be Trixie's hero. I kind of feel like it is.
They could do a lot of things, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it could definitely be. I think it should be Trixie Void and then a farming Alchemist.
But it's a pretty clever way of drafting it, because if you look at Acid Spray, Ancient Apparition ulti, Macro Pyre, Faceless Void, there's so many zoning abilities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff you don't want to stand in and don't want to get caught by, that it's really easy for the Death Prophet to walk up to the tower, have a backup in the sphere. It doesn't really matter if the Void's farmed, because he doesn't need to deal damage. It's just about the sphere for him, at least in the early game. Later on, of course, he'll probably make a good transition.
And some really good spells to throw in there. Not just the Exorcism, but also the fact that they have not just the Crypt Swarm, they have the Macropyre, they have the Ice Path to follow up after the Chronosphere.
Yeah.
And, of course, the AA Ice Blast is so easy to aim if you have a Void going in first. Whoa, that's a ballsy pick.
I don't know about AM, man. That's
ballsy. That's crazy. Borderline crazy, at least.
Okay, so let's look at the picks. Arise is going to be mid on Void. Now, does that mean that 4ASC are putting Mutombo Man mid on the AM as well?
Dude, I have no idea what Fnatic are doing until they actually stay on the heroes.
And a 1v1, Void beats AM, doesn't he? Because Void doesn't really care about mana.
Yeah, Void will fight until he has no mana, but the downside is that he's going to be easy to gank. He can't jump away.
Yeah.
So smoke ganks against him are really easy to execute. But he definitely beats AM in terms of last hitting and harassment.
Oh, it'll be Viper mid.
Yeah. They're just going to swap around the heroes as well.
Yeah, they were swapping. That's why I was really confused. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
That's why I was waiting as well. Because Fnatic, they can totally mind game by picking certain heroes and then just swapping around. Because it can be off lane Void, it can be off lane Jakiro, hell, it can even be off lane Alchemist or aggressive tri lane. So they have all the options in the world. And sort of same thing on Finstack. But that AM pick though, I would be surprised to see this work out. I feel it's really an awkward game. The good thing, I guess, is that Mana Void is very good against DP.
It is, actually. But the thing is, the DP has to be alive for quite some time. You know what I mean? Like, for the Mana Void to really become that bomb that
she
you
has
want
already
it to be.
done a lot by then. Yeah. I get what you mean, but...
And you don't really want to blink Manta into a DP either, especially when you have to worry about Sphere and Alchemist Stun and Ice Path and AA Blast.
You don't really want to be AM against them, to be honest.
I mean, I feel similarly to you, but I feel like for ASC, you know, they've won 2 games in a row so far. They clearly have some game plan for the hero.
Yes.
And in a way, if they assume that the Void is not going to be in a farming role, which it looks like he is, but if the Void wasn't in a farm role, the nice thing about being in that matchup is if you commit the Sphere, you have to commit a lot more than just the Sphere to kill the AM.
Yeah, because the Void, if he was an offlaner, would have to get some help to actually bring him down. But Void against AM is a classic, like TI1 classic kind of matchup, because we saw them so much during TI1, TI2 even.
And Void owns him.
Void wrecks AM.
Yeah.
If they have an even game, AM gets wrecked. But AM can farm faster than Void. That's one advantage he has. So if it's completely just a farm game, then AM can sort of pull ahead. But when you're looking at Jakiro, DP, Alchemist, I don't think it's going to be a static farm game. We'll see how Fnatic play it out, but I wish you good luck, Finstack.
I mean, Trixie is going to have to make more space.
We need more space, Trixie.
That's all I can say. Like, just...
Can you ask him for that?
I don't know. He's been pretty good about it the last 2 games.
He has been pretty good about it. I don't think he can give even more than that, but we'll see. I like this harassment on mid lane here. Jarek's just rushing up and doing the face slam on Honey.
Yeah, this is
Ogre harass.
I'm actually a bit surprised he decided to skill Fire Blast instead of Ignite.
Yeah, Ignite slightly better, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit more damage, but I mean the major thing here is just making sure that the Viper gets some free CS in the early levels. Honey's still not totally losing out. He got 2 creeps, you know, it's value.
Yeah, and they're actually trying to kill Trixie here a little bit, but they can't really bring him down. He just walks into tower. Already some farm lost by Void. 0 last hits, falling behind.
Yeah, it's not really that good, to be honest. He's got 2 denies, though, which is good.
Yeah.
I think the main reason why I thought that the Jakiro wouldn't be off lane is because if you have Alchemist Void together against a Tide who was picked before the Alchemist was picked, how do you zone him? I mean, sure, you can maybe get a concoction with a Chilling Touch, but outside of that, if he stays at decent HP, he's going to be able to soak all he wants.
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure, but all I can say for now is that this AM, while he only has 6 last hits, he has 5 creeps to farm up as well. So he's actually doing better than the Void, and he's gonna farm up slightly more. And this Jakiro is also being zoned quite well by Boogie, even denying the pull there. Really nice play. And a Witch Doctor dedicating his time and life to harass you is one of the most depressing things in the world. Because his heal can keep him up for so long.
Yeah.
And he even got some shared tangos from the AM so that he can harass even more.
Yeah, and they even fixed it so his heal is actually not just amazing at level 1 and crappy at every other level because of the mana efficiency. It's now equal parts at all levels. Ace getting double damage Ogre.
Both of them have boots, but yeah.
I mean, if he gets another stun,
Ogre
I
is
think
slightly
he dies.
faster. He's gonna get him.
Yeah, I think he's dead.
He's dead. He's gonna go for the deny, but can he get it?
Save it. Oh, he's taking Ancients.
it.
Wow,
Nice.
got him.
Yeah. Attack clicking the enemy will pull aggro even from neutral creeps, so that's a nice little trick you can do whenever the enemy wants to go in and deny. Just re-click your attack. You have to do it when you're close to the Ancients. If you have your attack clicked running from afar, it's gonna work the same way as it does on the lane. Yeah, it's better to re-click it. Let's not go too advanced into it.
Yep. I mean, you can even go as far as clicking stuff in other areas in the map if you need to. You know, just to be able to pull the aggro. But again, First Blood going the way of 4 ASC, and as much as we talked about the skepticism behind this AM pick, like he's still farming very well. They got First Blood. I mean, I think a good start for ASC.
That First Blood though, the DD walk down.
I mean, unfortunate that it happened that way for Ace, but this means that his lane's going to be even harder than it was previously. And I mean, looking at Trixie, he's not doing too bad. I mean, he's halfway to level 4, hasn't died.
Oh, Ace, they're trying to kill him here?
I mean, they can do quite a bit of damage.
They could kill him, maybe.
It's 1-1-1 AM here. He doesn't have 2 points into the mana break, but he's going to have a blink.
That's a true hater AM.
Oh, come on, go for it.
Go for it.
2 more hits, I
No
think.
Ice Path. I think he could have gotten that. With 2 hits. Then again, it was already a pretty aggressive drive from a 1-1-1 AM. He's limping back to his lane after tanking tower so much.
Yeah, well, he tanked it a little bit extra for Jerax to not take any hits too.
Yeah.
Like he stood there. But I think with 5 armor, because mana break damage is physical, I think he would have taken 3 hits because he had 100 health.
Yeah.
It would have been close.
Maybe he could have. It's hard to tell. Either way, that's gonna push the lane a little bit though. Whenever you go for shenanigans like that, normally your lane is gonna push. That's the most typical result. Luckily, they managed to reset a little bit by pulling their creep wave as well. But it's going to give some experience towards Ace, so he will get something for his suffering.
Not much, though. I mean...
Not a whole lot. And actually taking some decent mana break harass once again.
The thing is, these trades are never going to be effective for him anymore because Mutombo Man has a ring of health, so... It's like, yeah, you can trade with me all day, but in reality, you're going to get your mana burned. And even if
they're going to try and kill him again. Jerax going behind here.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he should be
dead. And he's not even going to be tanking the tower because Jerax was there first. Boofy actually gets a kill, though, which is a little bit unfortunate. But, I mean, honestly, it's like, if he dies, he dies.
Boofy is happy about the kill.
Yeah. He's got enough for boots now, which is important.
Yeah. So, we haven't talked much about the mid lane, but right now, Valix played a really nice Viper last game, and he's 34-13.
He is crushing
against 18-1.
Absolutely crushing. Like,
he's destroying him.
Double denies. But I mean, this is expected, right? Because for the first like 2 or 3 waves, he was zoned out off the creep wave.
Yeah.
And if you don't get any outside help against a Viper of all heroes, actually gonna have to hold that thought concoction going on a Jerax here. ASUS was dropped, so the bonus damage was there. Chilling touch, 1 more stun on the crit, but not enough to keep him
That's a kill, but it doesn't give that much towards Fnatic, really. I mean, sure, it pulls the Ogre off the lane, but he's dead for so short of a time anyway. He doesn't really care, and that's a level 3 Ogre, so it's not a high-value kill by any means. And as you say, just being on the lane there in the beginning, like denying the first creep wave for the DP, it can totally just snowball the lane. Because DP normally does pretty well against Viper. With your spell farming, a little bit worse now on 75 damage nuke, but still does pretty well.
It shouldn't, yeah, the nuke damage is a very minor thing, and in all honesty, you probably still do slightly worse than the Viper, but you shouldn't be getting like this handled, more or less.
Yeah, I feel the big difference is going to be that Viper gets some denies against you, and you get like no denies against Viper.
Even going to be forced to TV back to base. This is awful for him. Like, the fact that he just had to leave, that's not good.
Oh, this is not great, man. Not great.
We were hyping up like the team fight from Fnatic, but if you never get to a stage in the game where you can actually fight and you don't have your core items, then suddenly your 5-man becomes a heck of a lot less scary. I think a lot of pressure actually is going to be on Arise to deliver some good spheres.
I think that the way Fnatic have been winning many of these games is just that they play smarter with their draft and supports, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even about Honey being bad mid or whatever, or like Valix being the best mid player I've ever seen, or anything like that. It's about decision making, and Jerax just pushing in their mid and denying some of the farm on DP has detrimental effects on the entire Fnatic lineup. If they don't get farm on DP, you can't push early. And he went face boots build. That means he has 777 HP right now.
Yeah, but he also has 3 heroes basically sitting behind him, and Arise is going to go for the sphere right onto the Viper. Actually decides against.
Yeah. Well, I think they realized that
he
DP
didn't have mana. Never
ulti.
mind. No, he didn't have mana.
Oh, but even then, I don't think they could have killed him because DP has not skilled ulti. Like, she went for a non-ulti build. This is pretty standard, by the way. It's not me hating or something. But with this build, they can't really bring him down, I think. Even if they land the Chrono Wave.
I mean, well, with 3 points into Witchcraft, you get 5 extra spirits, so you're still only looking at 9, as opposed to 17, which you have at level 2. Yeah. So the difference is pretty massive. And yeah, like you said, pretty standard build. Oh, they're going to find Rise in the Woods. Another double damage on Jerax. What is with his rune luck? Just going to club him down.
Well, that's what happens when you have the rune control the entire time. I mean, sooner or later you find stuff, but yeah, getting the 2 DDs. Actually, we had a haste rune earlier as well on the Alchemist, so pretty value runes. And he's going to get 1 more kill. That's an easy kill. Just chasing this guy down. Or maybe not. Maybe they can't. Oh, okay.
All right, they just ravaged.
Okay.
No, it's okay, though. Like, ravaging for that kill, I think, is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
it is okay. I just thought they could get him to walk down.
What pressure are Fnatic going to be able to actually apply?
Yeah. Meanwhile, AM in Finland. Actually in Finland.
Actually in Finland. Drinking coffee.
Drinking coffee right now and feeling happy about this space.
Okay, this dive. This is a little bit optimistic. Valex is going to end up trading his life here, but they managed to kill Hani. It's going to end up being a 2-for-1. Valex dying first, of course, not getting any of that experience. And
it's
Ogre
the
is a little
space
bit
dive.
too fat. Yeah.
Diving into space.
I mean, definitely not worth. Not even a little. But
Definitely not, actually. But it doesn't really matter that much. You brought down the DP.
oh, and a stack being stolen too by Trixie.
Yeah. That's not something you want to have happen to you ever.
Trixie is actually consuming the space this time.
Trixie, though, not having mana for mana boots.
Who would have thought there would be a day where you didn't have mana to actually get mana from your mana boots? Why do mana boots have a mana cost?
Soon we're gonna be paying taxes on our taxes, man.
That would totally be an American thing.
It would actually be a Swedish thing. But yeah, this game is going so well for Fnatic. Even though they dove a little bit too aggressively, and losing Valex is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want your Viper to die at all. And he has no kills this game. Even though he's been winning mid really hard, he has really good CS. But you don't want him to stop getting momentum now, because Viper, if you don't crush the lane, farms so slow.
Yeah.
And against a push lineup, you will never find a time to farm on Viper. You will just be reacting to the enemy. So it could have some bad effects if you give away. If he dies again, I think that's going to set him back a lot.
And he's not going for mech either. He's actually picked up an Ogre Club as a first item.
Yeah, screw that AA, man.
Yeah, going straight into the BKB is nice, but I also think Pipe and Drums are really good pickups in these types of games.
Maybe he's just axe rushing, you know?
I mean, it could be Ags, yeah, that's a good point.
Because they still have DP, they still have Void. I mean, BKB Rush is not the most fun thing to do in this game either. And
Yeah.
Mech, same thing there. But Aghanim's is always fun.
That's true.
Spit on
Pretty much
people.
always super legit. Speaking of item choices, Arise has opted to go for the Midas, and he bought it at 9 minutes. So,
It's okay.
I mean, it's okay in the sense that Void still benefits very well from attack speed, and people actually think undervalue levels on that hero, because getting level 3 Sphere, it's a 90-second cooldown, which is very, very short. Actually,
Yeah.
this got nerfed recently again, but...
Yeah. I think
him going forward here on crit, he's going to eat the Ignite. His
they
ultimate
can't-
is just healing
they
for
can't
so
kill him.
much.
no way. Even if they didn't have level 6, they even couldn't get a multicast. Actually, bottom,
Trixie,
some big fight here, catching out the Tide.
no Sphere used for that, by the way. So that was pretty much just a kill given out. And Jerax now is just looking for another kill. If he had an Orb of Venom, I would actually say that he kills that, but...
Yeah, he probably would as well, but then again, Void was running and closing up. About this Midas on Void, I think it's fine because he kind of needs Midas, Treads, and Mask of Madness attack speed to bring down AM.
Yeah.
I think he needs that much to kill him. Whereas if he just went for the Treads, Mask of Madness, he might kill him, but not every single time. And same thing for killing any other hero. To be honest, Fnatic have some boring heroes to jump on. Holy shit. It's like, okay, I'll jump on the Ogre, the Tide, the Viper, or the AM that I never see because he's
Yeah.
farming jungle.
I think this game is actually going to come down a lot to like vision wars in the mid game, because if Ford AFC maintain good map control and vision, the AM is going to be able to get away with so much. But if Fnatic can take even a handful of good fights and restrict the map control, then the Void becomes a hard counter to the AM, because the AM will never be able to go to lanes because he'll solo die to a Void.
Yeah, vision is going to be really key. As you say, with the hard counter of Chronosphere just completely wrecking AM. But AM is also pulling ahead more and more, and once he gets that Battle Fury, you'll never see him again. Like,
Yeah.
he just disappears, and he has the entire Battle Fury right now. So 1250, it's not extremely fast, to be honest, but it is
It's good enough.
fast. Yeah, it is a really fast, and he even stacks the big camp here. So he just wants to finish up his power trades now, and then he's going to be farming
I
nonstop.
see what you did there. He wants to finish up his power trades. Well played.
Finish.
Well played. So,
So much.
do you play a lot of AM?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your stance on Vlad's versus straight into Manta?
Vlad's is really good, to be honest.
Yeah, I always buy Vlad's pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't like it that much until I started trying it more.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can get used to this.
I always
This
have
is
mana.
This is nice.
I always have mana. I'm always full health.
Yeah.
And I can farm Ancients.
Yeah.
Which is something that you can't do with Naked Battle Fury.
Yes. And people are mentioning like, yeah, but you can tread swap and blink, and with Battle Fury you'll be fine on mana. Actually, no.
No, yeah,
No.
even Tread switching perfectly, you will run out of mana.
Yeah. have played tons of AM games, and with Vladimir's, you will actually not run out of mana. That little bit of extra regen. And the fact that you can kill Ancients is a big change.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, TA can kill Ancients now. I'm so happy.
That's actually...
I'm so happy, man.
I dragon fisted for a day, or you, I guess. I turned into you, and I just picked TA like a bunch because it's so nice.
It's so wonderful. She kills them really easily as well. Mid lane, gonna go on Ace here, pretty big dive, and he's close to his Yule Scepter, but yeah, he's gonna take the aids and die.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, sad when it happens.
The dragon dies to the flying. What do they call it? Manta ray, I guess. It doesn't really look like a manta ray though.
No.
I can see it, I guess.
My friends call him something different, but I can't say that on stream. I'll tell you after. Yeah.
PG-13. Come on.
Pretty much.
So there's a Blink Ravage up on this Tidehunter now. And that is pretty damn scary, to be honest. Because the nice thing about Tide in this game is that if you wait for the Void to jump, your Ravage pretty much hits anywhere in the sphere. So unless you're like really paying attention and you dodge it, at the very least you don't have your full damage uptime. Or you can just blink over the sphere and you can Ravage everybody behind it, which means there's no follow-up.
Over the sphere. Yeah, that's true. I feel the same way, that Tide is a pretty good counter to Void. Downside though, if Void gets really farmed, he can jump on the Tide and kill him. And not a lot of heroes can actually do that. Bring down the Tide before he Chronos.
Do you want to do that with an AM on the team?
Oh, sometimes not. Sometimes not. But it's fine if they bring down the Tide and he doesn't have buyback kind of thing. Yeah. But if Tide has buyback and if he's there, then obviously not worth. So it's situational.
Taking some auto attacks here. His ultimate's going to wear off. The damage being dealt is real. And I think he's just dead. He's going to get gushed. Teleport reaction coming in. It's going to be an AA blast coming in from downtown. The sphere hits on 2. See you later, AM. The bash secures the kill from Arise. Honey popping his ult. That's level 2 exorcism, by the way. So their spirits are out and about. Okay,
oh my God.
Just destroyed.
Yeah, that's the level 2 DP ulti. Just showing off what he can do right there.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that damage, man.
Yeah, if they had Jakiro here, well, they should still be able to get to tier 1, I think.
I thought the Tide might live because Arise was a little bit tight and backed off early there, respecting the fact that it could be a big stack of Finns, I guess, right in the jungle there. But instead,
a big stack of Finns.
Instead, he just backs off. But the Ghosts, man, the Ghosts just bring him down.
Yeah, I think it would be...
It's the Axe Rush. I like it.
The Axe Rush from Viper, you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good, especially when... If the Void goes into his sphere, there's so many ways outside of it. Like, you got Death Ward you can drop, you can Viper ult him, you can Ogre stun, you can Ravage. Like, the only person who just gets completely wrecked is the AM. That's it.
Yeah. But wrecking AM can be fine, though. Sometimes.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, he's the only one in the team that's like, all right, well, if the AM's outside of the sphere even, it's like, what do I do?
Ryze throwing some scumbag AA ultis into a jungle, stealing Jarek's farm. That's the nicest thing to do with AA, just, you know, knowing when the enemy's farming somewhere and stealing their shit.
Yeah.
Feels so good. Or maybe the double kill from last game was a better feeling.
That was pretty sick. He gained 3 levels off that Ice Blast.
A 3-level gain without even being in the fight? Yeah, I'd say it's decent.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh,
right.
Look at the Invis
here.
Tide.
Yeah.
Sneaky, sneaky.
He sees
Yule's finished though? Yeah,
he cannot kill with his damage. I don't think.
No, not alone. But he's getting support. Jarex is keeping down bottom. No ward to spot this out.
They don't even need to Ravage him.
I think it could be a dead dragon right here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
multicast, he's dead.
Throws out the panic Yules, but...
Yeah, 50 damage.
50 damage. That's value. I mean, you can't just buy a 2,700 gold item and not use it.
Exactly. Gotta do something. Meanwhile, AM is playing pretty aggressively.
In. He's gonna go for the sphere, maybe?
He's gonna go for the Vladimir's as well, by the way. The AM.
Yeah, I love it.
Going for it before the Yasha as well. That's pretty much when I want to buy it as well, before Yasha. Because after Yasha, you're so close to Manta and you want to finish it anyway.
And it also feels like if you buy the Vlads, the gap between getting the Vlads and the Manta, like, you farm way faster. And you farm so much safer as well.
Yeah. I think the part that I don't take into account when because my mind is sort of telling me that Vlad is not that good. But then I play it and it's really good.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I'm only thinking about the lifesteal that you gain, but you disregard the fact that you get extra armor and you get the extra damage.
Yeah, Ace. Probably going to be dropping here in the middle lane.
Yeah.
See you later.
He's not having a good time on his dragon, man.
No, not at all.
I mean, he was unlucky to be caught out by a DD Ogre earlier on, and He's just been taking a beating, up to 5 deaths already.
Yeah, and they're even gonna pop a smoke, actually. They're gonna be pushing in bottom in the meantime. Fnatic popping the exorcism down here. There is a sphere available from Arise if he wants to try to go
they're going
all
for
in.
this? They're going for this.
Yeah, they got the tower. Viper Strike onto Arise. He's gonna be quite slow here. There is a Blink Ravage. He's gonna throw out the Gush. Stun from the low ground. Oh, and that Death Ward. Look at it go.
The Gush Death Ward combo. Did you see how fast he died?
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Oh, that was so sad for him. And he had 3 points into backtrack, actually. But I don't think... Can the Death Ward miss uphill?
It was on the same level as him because he
Oh yeah, he
on
threw
high
it.
ground.
Yeah, the cast range on Death Ward increasing. It's a while ago, but it's so good.
It's really long, actually.
Yeah, it has a very long cast range now. Is it like 500?
Yeah, it's around 500 or 600. You can just hover over him. It's massive.
Yeah, pretty amazing range.
But I mean, that's a perfect example of if you just throw a Viper Strike on the Void, like, what does he do?
Yeah.
You don't have enough damage follow-up without Exorcism or AA Blast to be able to actually do anything.
Oh,
so
dude,
you just run.
the DP is very low mana here on mid lane. They could try and just straight up kill.
Oh, if he sees it, it's going to be bad news.
I think he's seen it.
Yeah, but he's going to
then
get caught with a Silence and an Ice Path. The Concoction not going to be thrown before the
Jarek's
blackout.
going in.
Jerax knows that they can clean this up. That's why he's going in. Like, if they can get kills here, a triple Ravage. The Mana Void's available. The bomb only going to kill one, but it's good enough. They killed Ace anyway.
Yeah.
And that offlane Jakiro has not really been offering a whole heck of a lot.
And they should be getting the mid tower as well. Maybe even going for crit here. Trying to get this kill is Trixie. Going in deep, and now Boogie.
The blink forward, crit taking some huge damage here. Just drops.
I like seeing an AM battle early on this much.
Yeah.
I must say that Fnatic plays AM in an interesting way that works pretty well for him. Obviously, he has been farming a lot, but he has also been part in 4 kills and pretty recent kills as well. Like, just contributing to his team by moving around.
And his farm
And that's
is
the power
getting,
of Vlads.
But he's got 3 kills, and he's still maintaining like 9 CS a minute.
Oh god, he could kill Roshan really fast. Do you see that? That's a DD on bottom, and he has Vlads.
He's actually just chasing down Arise. He's like, yeah, throw your sphere at me. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's fine.
He knows he's tanky.
Yeah, with the Quelling Blade, though, if he sees the DD, yeah, it should be a pretty easy Roche.
That's a very fast Roche.
And there's no vision here from Fnatic either.
Yeah, but there's no vision from Fnatic either, so let's see if he sees it. He sees the DD.
Well, they do have 1 jungle ward.
He should go for it straight. Yeah, he will. That's a fast Roshan. They can even go in and gush it, but they need to target.
If he gets this, Fnatic are so far behind, like...
Oh, they're all going there, though. I think they know. They're smoking. Or at least it's a qualified guess.
Oh, they're going to get the tank gank, though. Trixie's going to tank it. The Yules is used.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Go
Trixie. Space
This is actually really good. This is really good.
No,
if
the
they can
space.
get it.
AA ulti scouted Rochelle.
Yeah, and they're going to get at least 1 kill out of this. It's going to be the Aegis picked up by the AM. He doesn't want to commit to the fight, though. They're going to end up trading 2 for the Roche.
Okay.
I think that was a bit more even for Fnatic than originally we had thought.
Oh, yeah. Actually, much better, but still, they can go for a little bit of a push on mid lane now with this. And AM still doesn't have his full Manta style completed, so he doesn't really want to battle, but he's so close, man.
He'll have it really soon, yeah.
That is an extremely fast
They can't even kill the
timing.
tier 2. The Exorcism is gone, so.
Yeah.
And there's no sphere either, so I don't know really. Like, if they had gotten a tower off this, I'd say it would be almost even. The only problem with it is that the AM now cannot be killed.
He can't. And he has his entire Manta style from this top lane. That's so fast. 22-minute Manta style. If you look at timings for Manta, they are more interesting than timings for Battle Fury in my mind, because that's when you become relevant, not just a threat, like not just this ticking time bomb, but the actual bomb itself, the explosion.
And not only that, but Battle Furies, if you're uncontested, are typically at around the same time every game.
Yeah.
And it really depends on like what the other team starts to do to you to stop you from farming. They're going to go for an Ice Path here into the Silence. They're doing some damage, but he'll be able to blink away.
Yeah.
They didn't even silence, actually. Thought he was... No, he did. Did he just not
Messed up
land?
the timing, I guess.
Yeah.
I did not see that. But normally, even without the Vladimirs, people finish up their... Oh, they can't go on him again here. It doesn't really matter that much. He has the Aegis, even if he would.
Oh, they're actually just going to kill. He has his ulti. Yep, he's going to Mana Void.
All right.
2 kills for the AM. Not so great.
That was extremely, like... That
Optimistic.
was extremely low reward and high risk.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to gain. You might kill the Aegis, but what does it change? Like, you're committing everything to... Yeah, I don't know. Fnatic kind of crumbling here.
So if you're AM and you have this much of a lead, if it were me, I would just go straight into Abyssal Blade.
I would do the same. But then again, Butterfly against Void is nice now.
Oh my God, Rise.
That looked like a DD.
3-hit.
That looked like he had DD, just punching him down in 3 attacks.
This AM is a monster.
Yeah. He's completely overfarmed now.
I think the biggest argument that I always had for Abyssal Blade versus Butterfly is that if you ever get to a stage in the game where you see the Void first and you blink Abyssal on him, even if he doesn't die, he cannot sphere. So the other thing is, if you're solo, I'm not actually sure if Abyssal gives you more flat damage than a Butterfly, like for split pushing. I think it's probably close. Maybe a Butterfly edges it out by a slight margin.
I would say Butterfly probably gives you more damage.
Because it's like the illusions too, if you're hitting a tower.
Yes,
And like the
yes,
attack speed
exactly.
and the
Your
bonus.
Manta style gets so much stronger from Butterfly. But yeah, the choice is his, really. And this is luxury at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I mean, he already has everything that an AM needs. At 24 minutes, he is so rich that I don't think Fnatic can recover unless they pull a miracle. So they need to really coordinate their next fight well. They can't do anything like they did on top lane there, kind of trying to go with 2 heroes and an AM in a cute Eul Scepter attempt. And they had 2 Eul Scepters anyway, but they can't. I mean, that doesn't synergize so well.
Yeah, he blinks forward. He's looking for the Alchemist. Crit actually blinks away himself, and they're just going into town on this tier 2. In the meantime, though, Fnatic not going to take another chin. They're going to split push as well. Liquid Fire and Exorcism is a very strong combo, but I don't know if I agree with Exorcisming for this tier 2. Like, what if they decide to go high ground with an Aegis, and then all of a sudden, all you have is a sphere?
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Yeah. By the way, this AM is going a heart.
Oh, so he's going for the safe.
Yeah, he's going for the ultra safe. Which is nice, to be honest. His Aegis will be running out soon, and he has some time where he could get bursted really easily with a combo of Chronosphere with the rest.
Yeah.
He would obviously not die to Void alone, because Void has a very quirky build.
Yeah, he went for the Diffusal into Manta. I guess it's because if you... I don't know if he actually burns enough mana. That's 900 mana. Do you really burn it that fast?
Well, I mean, you're not going to burn all the AM's mana. You burn it fairly fast, to be honest, with your attack speed. But I'm not sure about this. I'm not sold. I think relying on the double damage bash in Chronosphere is still the safer path to go.
But you still gain a pretty good amount of attack speed from Manta, Midas, Diffusal Blade, Treads.
You
right?
do. You do. Diffusal is also really... how to say it? Like, upgrading the Diffusal is a very, very cost-effective increase in agility, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 15 agility for 700 gold, I believe it is, or
850, right? Or no, they changed it.
yeah, they changed it.
Yeah,
at
it's 700. It used to be 850, now it's 700.
Yes, new things, Drasko.
I don't know, man.
Get with
I'm
the times,
old.
man.
Can't teach an old Dota player new things.
Can't teach any Dota player anything.
That's
They're
actually
all
very
they're
true.
all stupid. But yeah, the entire heart is now finished up at 26 minutes in, and
That was a 4-minute heart farm.
yeah,
4 minutes.
4 minutes, 5,000 gold.
So in the spirit of going for the super safe build, he obviously goes Butterfly after this. And then he sells his Vlads to buy the
Assault
last
Crest.
item.
Oh, they're going on a mid, but he has the heart. Is he gonna live?
Oh, the counter Ravage. It hits on 3. The follow-up's just not there. The Ice Blast hits. Maybe
He's
it's
dead.
enough. He gets chain bashed. Arise manages to take him down. The Viper Strike's going to be there now. He's most likely going to pay with his own life. He's not going to be able to leap out of this one. Jarek's eating an Ice Path along with Boothy. Now Crit taking some auto attacks from the Viper. Not able to get off the second concoction. It's a 3-for-1. They
Yeah,
just
but
had to
it's
use
turning into
so
more.
much.
And
They
the
had to use
Blink
so
Dagger
much.
Viper.
So we've now run into the same situation that I think we kind of saw in Game 2, or maybe even Game 1 when it came to Matama's Slark, is when you had to use so many abilities to kill him, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, that was also really nice timing for the Tide to be there, because they would have killed him pretty effortlessly, to be honest, without the Tide being right there.
Yeah.
But you have to assume that Tide is going to sit around and protect him, because that's what Tide has as his sole purpose right now, is protect AM during all times. Of course, he's going to finish up his refresher as well very soon.
Oh,
Does
they
he
know.
find Honey? He knows,
Oh,
but
he
he's going to
forces
die.
the Exorcism. This
What?
is actually
Oh, he
quite
did not
huge.
need to use him. He could have killed him immediately.
Oh, A-Blast is going to secure what would have already been a kill anyway, but Ice Path comes down. Jarek's going to eat the Macro Pyre and the
kills?
Dual Breath. This is some serious damage coming out. 3 times multicast, not enough to get the kill.
That was That was awkward. It's like who finds who.
Yeah.
But
I'm not stuck in here. You're not stuck. Wait, how does it go?
Honey pretending.
Yeah, it's I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. That's how it works.
And Honey almost has his entire hex now.
Yeah.
He's very close. Just needs the Void Stone and he's gonna be good to go. And speaking of Void, with the entire Manta now and the Chrono, he could deal some serious damage, to be honest. This build, like, it puts you at a later peak, you could say, than the Mask of Madness build. It's also less risky, I guess, but that I don't think Mask of Madness is that risky on Void ever, to be honest. But now, Void hits very hard, and he's going for the Daedalus next. I think Butterfly would almost have been better, but Daedalus is gonna make him hit like a truck.
Yeah, I think with the massive amount of agility that he has, it's like just getting a pure damage item is gonna boost his DPS by so much.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What I think he should do though is buy Refresher and 2 Necrobooks. I
mean, Necrobook Manta Diffusal with Refresher is insanely strong. Yeah. I think people actually don't realize
it's
how good that is.
It's something that old, I believe it was Complexity or Team Fire did it. So this is a while ago. Used to do the Necrobook Void quite a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously what I'm getting at is the funky, like, having Refresher and 2 Necrobooks, then Void ulting, because you can get double Necrobooks out at the same time, but it's extremely expensive and gives you very little. Whereas this is not a trolley build. Void is actually
Dude,
trying
if you
to
had
win.
2 Necrobooks out, Manta Diffusal, and a Sphere, the AM would go before he's out of Sphere.
He would definitely not cast spells.
You could not blink away.
That's true.
Legit.
He would maybe just stand still and punch me to death though, but that's when the build truly kicks in. Because he would splash himself to death on the pure damage return from Necrobooks.
You got a 5-second Sphere.
Legit.
If he doesn't die in 5 seconds to AA Blast, a full Exorcism, a Daedalus, like, full inventory Void hitting him with
then
books,
he will never die.
Then he's not dying. Yeah.
Right now, Jarek's just trying to be sneaky here on bottom lane. Well, he does have his Aghanims, and the damage that he can throw out is insane, but I still think he kind of want to go with his team.
Guess what's happening?
I guess his team is going to come to him on bottom lane. They're going to try and catch out this Void, I think.
Tough as nails for now.
Yeah, they're going to try to find something. Jarek's going around from behind, but there is a DP.
Oh, the multicasts! Look for
He's
the
going to get
multicast.
stunned. He needs to Ravage. He needs to Ravage. No, actually, he doesn't. They're just... Nope, maybe he did need to Ravage.
He's turning. Arise.
He's going to die to the Ignite. Oh. That's the desperation.
I don't think you
right there.
can diffuse all the Ignite, right?
No, you can't.
That one just stays.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Tough
I can't
luck.
believe they didn't Ravage. I would have, like, committed everything to killing him there.
Yeah, holding on for dear life. Maybe they realized that Void is not the only big trouble, and actually on top lane trying to go on the DP now. The Shakiro.
He's so dead. Ace is just a goner. No, he gets hexed. Ace is going to be able to walk
bailed
this
out.
off. He's so close to going down. All right, there we go. One more auto attack, but Valix is going to be trading his own life with it.
Still okay though. 2 heroes dead on Fnatic with Antimage alive.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not a good trade to trade your Viper for Jakiro, but having the number advantage with AM on the field is going to play into your favor.
Radiant's bottom tower's
And speaking of, he's kind of beating on the tier 3 down here.
He's
Not
doing
really.
the full safety build, by
The
the way.
Exorcism is going to be down. How do they stop him?
They don't.
I mean, he can just stay here.
They're just gonna mass him, but then again, Ravage
And they
is still
still
there.
have Ravage, yeah. They can just blink up to the high ground, go for the kills.
I think this is Rex.
They
And
could
I
be.
think they won't die. They will look at this discipline from Fnatic. They're gonna sit back and respect it. Okay, they won't.
Yeah, they don't want him to just freely hit the racks. It's good, though, to just throw out the Hex, because if they keep the racks alive, I call that a win, actually. Like, I feel like this should have been a Rax. Like, you have...
It should have.
You have Refresher,
I'm
Tide.
surprised they backed, to be honest.
Well, the Void's ult's up now, so if they do go back in, it's going to be into a Sphere. The one thing that's nice, though, is, again, they have to commit the Sphere to the AM if they want to kill. So if they do that, you have to worry about the Tide just double
Look at the
ravaging your
smoke on
team.
Void. This is sneaky. He sees him. He's gonna go.
Oh, the Sphere's dropped. Only hits on 1. We need the blink over the Sphere into the Ravage. There's Ravage number 1. Hits on 3,
God.
including the Void, but he gets Yules. He can't throw out the second Ravage right away into
Run
a Hex
away.
and a Silence. Arise just man fighting the AM all by himself.
He
He's not
has
going to be
no
able to
mana.
do it on his own. Oh boy, Ace going to eat a Mana Void. Doesn't kill, but will ensure the racks at the very least.
That's the get out of here, Mana Void.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's the go away.
Go.
Radiant's bottom.
Yeah, okay. So they actually have nothing remaining.
Radiant's
to fight them. Like, they can't stop this at all.
Yeah.
And AM is even gonna heal up now with the heart as well, or even with the Vladimirs. So, I don't know, man. I think this is at least 2 racks.
So the unconventional AM actually working out pretty well here. Blink 4 from Pretty goes for a stun on the Witch Doctor, but there isn't much follow-up. In the meantime, Ace just dies.
Yeah.
Fighting 2 heroes on the side of 4 ASC, and
gets
that's 2
hammered.
more down. That's got to be almost GG.
I think it is. I mean, look at the death timers. It's such a long duration. You gotta get double racks at least. Goofy
Okay.
might be going down here.
Now we're just going for kills. Hani
Yeah.
doesn't actually disjoint the Viper Strike, though, so he's very slow. They're even going to commit a Ravage to this, and now
It's
they're just
the fountain
well diving.
farm.
This is the Finnish fountain right
Yeah.
here. That's,
Finish fountain
that's a
farming
team-wipe.
with a cup of coffee in one hand.
That's the demoralizing, please call GG
Yeah.
fountain dive. And there we go.
We have to go kind of soon. So that's the 3rd game, and Fnatic just wrecked Fnatic.
I think that makes Fnatic 1-8.
Wow.
And the only game they won was the reschedule.
They won one single game in the ASUS ROG Dreamleague, and that was a game that was a default loss because of a reschedule.
That's harsh. That's
That
really
is
harsh. I
really
thought they would
harsh.
bring at least 1 game out of the series, maybe 2. But Fnatic, man, playing so strong. And Void in the end, Arise trying to play the mana burn game against Anti-Mage, not gonna work in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get where he was coming from with the build, because
Yeah.
if you are ahead of the AM, it's one of those builds that can just really like decimate you, and you're not going to be able to do much about it. Plus, it gives you extra mobility, another way to escape. You know, you can disjoint with the Manta and be able to run away from stuff that otherwise would kill you. But I mean, it just did not work out at all for Fnatic today, and it seems like things got progressively worse. Although I think that second game might have actually been the worst.
Second was the worst one.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, 3rd game, I don't know though. Like, they had no intentions or at least efforts of stopping the AM, ever.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty bad game as well. Even though this one didn't look like it was extremely one-sided, if you don't contest AM at all, it is a one-sided game.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Well,
kind of how a hero works.
really well played by 4ASC. I was pretty impressed too. I mean, obviously Fnatic weren't on their game,
No.
but you can't
But
take
then
anything
again-
away from the Finstack, right?
Then again, Fnatic just seems like they had a good read on Fnatic in every single way. I mean, the draft looked really well composed in every single game. Last game surprised me with the AM pick, but it still worked out. They showed that they had some nice execution, and they understood the mechanics of how the matchups work. Like, they went to the mid lane, made sure that Viper's going to win that one with little to no help from that point on, after the first little ogre clubbing. And
He got
then-
2 DDs.
Yeah, exactly. That was not a DD on the first harass, though. Like,
Right.
when he just walked in there. He got nice DDs later on, but that's because he can run around doing whatever he wants. While Fnatic, every single game we watched, I feel like their supports are in such a passive role, kind of just waiting for items and stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas the Finstack are just going. They don't care.
YOLO.
YOLO.
It works.
YOLO.
Anyway, that's the last of this series for us. I'm not entirely sure if the Alliance matches have been played all the way through against Team Tinker just yet, but
I
at the
don't know.
very least, the B stream right now is done. We'll probably be coming back into the studio to meet up with Lumi and Bruno again and have a closing show. So thanks again for watching. We'll be back in a little bit.
So irritated.
Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dreamleague Season 2. We were just finished with the smoke gank. Lots of smoke in here.
It didn't work.
Bruno trying to be Dracula.
Kind of works.
Kind of works. Except you have a bullet.
Your bullet wound would have healed if you were a true vampire.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a silver bullet. Wait, no, that's...
Then you're
Then
dead.
you'd be dead.
No, that's
Rip.
werewolves, isn't it?
No, I think silver is kind of like a cure-all for
Like
undead
stake in the
stuff.
heart.
It's the all-around.
Well, silver
Yeah, it
bullet.
just works.
A medium rare stake in the heart. Is that how it goes?
I thought silver bullet is just a term that's like a solution for anything.
Yeah.
And
But it also kills werewolves.
it also kills werewolves. Yeah.
Anyways, you guys actually had a lot of games. We didn't.
We did.
Yes.
Well, we had the normal amount of games.
Well,
Yeah. So before going to ourselves, do you want to tell a little bit about your games?
I can start off with the first game. It was pretty close, actually the closest of the entire series. It was a Slark played by Matumba Man on the side of 4ASC, and it kind of just got to a stage where he went Midas first, something that we
Okay.
saw Loda actually do
Yeah.
the other day. And he just got to a point where he was creating so much space for the team because they had the tools to kill him. And they killed him multiple times. I think they had like a Tidehunter Ravage.
Yeah.
They had a couple of other things
that
as well.
was the thing. Like they had a Tidehunter Ravage, they had a Furion as well for the push with a Troll in the lineup as well. So Fnatic wanted to push against this Fin stack, but the problem was really that Matumba Man went in so aggressively, they had to use the Ravage to kill him, and then could not push because Ravage is on cooldown.
Yeah.
So it was a very sad fight, and every single fight was also in Fnatic's own area, never close to the Finstack's towers, and yeah, they just held their towers pretty valiantly.
Yeah, and then there was the one fight at the end of the first game where they basically fought really well, got Roshan like Fnatic did,
Yeah.
and then they're going up high ground and they don't have Ravage, and they fight and just get completely wiped off the map and lose the game because they didn't have Ravage, and they like felt like they overcommitted even though they didn't
They
have
got
to.
baited into the buyback. Like
Yeah.
it was a classic Brewmaster having gold for buyback, going in, trying to get the enemy to jump him, and Fnatic took the bait without having Ravage, as you said. And yeah, you just can't do something like that sometimes.
Yeah, and then game 2 was pretty much a 20-minute stomp. For ASC, just kind of shut them down everywhere. The first, I would say, 10 minutes looked like it could have been a close game.
Yeah.
But then there was like 4 bad engagements in a row, and then Fnatic just like lost.
And that
Yeah.
was with the captain on the Slark again, right?
That was a Slark game, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Also, they kind of went for this extremely weird Roshan attempt.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing. Like they had some bad fights, but it wasn't that bad. And we were calling as well that kind of Fnatic went for a smoke without pushing out any of the lanes, and they had creeps hitting both their top and mid tower while they started doing Roshan, which is never really a good thing. And the enemy just went there and threw a Fissure and scouted, almost killed one with the Fissure.
Yeah.
And then a single Ravage on Slark. It was not pretty.
And then the third game was
Unlike you.
actually the
looking
Slarkless game.
Pretty.
Slark was banned in the third game. Second phase ban.
Okay.
And they last picked AM for
Into a
ASC.
void.
Into a void team.
yeah.
And I mean, it was an offlane Jakiro, safe lane farming void, mid DP, right? And Jerax gets a double damage rune,
On
Gets
what
a
hero?
Ogre Magi.
Okay.
And he gets a solo kill on Ace. And Ace is playing Jakiro offlane.
Oh, what's that in the neutrals?
Near the Ancients.
Yeah, where he tried
near
to
the
deny
Ancients.
himself. Yeah.
And Jerax just walks around basically, gets another DD, gets another kill,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
this is after he effectively zones out Hani from the creep wave for like, what, 2 minutes or something like that? It was a few waves.
Yeah, it was not pretty. And Ace was also having the worst time of his life, as you said. Jakiro was just crying in this game. He died 5 times in the first 14 minutes or something like that, and was also not able to farm on the offlane much. He got his dual scepter but couldn't do anything with it. But the downside was really that they played it so smart, the Fnatic going in and just stopping, because Viper against DP is a pretty fair matchup.
Yeah.
DP can farm on it, Viper can farm on it, and the only downside, I guess, for DP is that she can't deny as well as the Viper can. But with Ogre just running up and clubbing on the DP, he completely won the lane for the Viper, and he was wrecking DP so hard that it stopped the momentum from Fnatic.
Yeah.
And AM was just free farming. There was never any question that he was going to be contested. So.
Yeah, and also Arise on his Void decided to go for Manta-style Diffusal Blade, which was a little bit awkward, but I mean...
Maybe he wanted to mana burn the mana burner.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. I mean, more or less what ended up happening is because Hani had such a bad start and Ace had such a bad start,
Right.
they have to overcommit heroes to killing anyone. So then the AM gets like a ton of space,
Right.
and he's able to just buy everything. I mean, he had 22-minute Vlad's Battle Fury Manta treads, right?
Okay.
And
which
some
is super
beautiful
fast.
disjoints by the Tidehunter as well.
Yeah.
Tidehunter was on spot pretty
Yeah.
much every single time they jump on the AM. There was a beautiful Ravage right afterwards to just disjoint the fight. So yeah, Fnatic was very convincingly winning 3-0. It was not even that close.
I was
First game was
impressed.
close.
So I had an interesting thought. Like, assuming that the Void goes standard Void items, like Mask of Madness, Maelstrom, crit, not some Manta battle, Manta Diffusal Blade stuff, okay? And you're playing AM. You guys talked about how the Vlads is very important in terms of speeding up your farm, making sure you always have mana. The armor became relevant against the Void. Is it still the same build where you go Battle Fury, Vlad's back into the Manta, or do you have to change your build a little bit?
I think you have to buy the Vlads before Manta.
Yeah.
Like, Wagga brought up a really good point is you don't actually want to buy a Yasha and then buy a Vlad's and delay your Manta by that much, because you basically get the ultimate orb for the cost of a Vlad's. And then you have the extra gold left over, which is not much to finish up the Manta completely, and then you can fight. The big thing is you want the Vlads to accelerate the farm directly after Battle Fury, because you just want to be able to farm everywhere. You don't want to be restricted. You want to be able to jungle, you want to be able to push the lanes and kill Ancients.
It also gave him the opportunistic Roshan, as they went for harassing the Void at first. Then they went back down to a rune spot, saw a DD rune and was like, hey, I have a Vlad's, let's kill Roshan, easy.
Yep.
So in that sense, the Vlad's is not about the armor. It's actually about increasing the farm speed.
I think it's about
both.
It's mostly about the farm speed, but it's really
The mana on the blink
useful
as well.
in more than just your damage increase and the lifesteal. Also the armor and mana, everything plays in really nicely for him. I think.
Okay.
That's good.
Good to know.
Anyways, bottom line, Fnatic, 1-8. One could say that they lost their head.
Oh,
It's more of a stem, but close enough.
Fair enough. Anyways, that means that Fnatic is going to be the team eliminated. On the Alliance versus Team Tinker, there was only one match played. During the match, Alliance started having a lot of connection issues, 4 of them. And after the game, which Tinker won very decisively, which, I mean, there's not much to talk about that game, really. It was...
You would have to say that Alliance didn't get to play much, but the Ravage from Sing Sing was always good.
Yeah.
It's either a 3-man Ravage or a 4-man Ravage.
Essentially, yeah, Team Tinker played to dictated the tempo of everything they did. They had the initiations all the time. Even the support from Alliance seemed lost. You can argue that some of that was a little bit of packet loss. Some of that was just being outplayed. I mean, do not take anything away from Team Tinker. They won all 3 lanes very convincingly and just like proceeded to stomp from there. Unfortunately, after that, they were trying to fix the problem, and the match was delayed. The game 2 was delayed to see what was happening. What ended up happening is that we tried to get people helping. Actually, Cybermat stepped in to try and help the teams and started problem solving. I was like, well, if it's DDoS, it's kind of like something that you have to be protected as if you're a player.
Right.
If it's something with your connection, then it's the same. When Cybermat started crossing out possibilities, it all came down to the ISP, and they eventually called the ISP where they are. And they're like, oh yeah, your region is fucked, essentially.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
So you can't blame the team.
So you can't blame the team, and it's not like you can go to other place and play, because it's like the whole region is having connections problem.
That's unfortunate.
That is really unfortunate. Since that's a cause of, like, I think it's called force majeure, or like
act of God.
Act of God, or fortuitous. I like that word, fortuitous. The matches had to be rescheduled.
Okay.
And they will be rescheduled at a later date next week, because Team Tinker has to go flight tomorrow to play D2CL this weekend.
Yep.
So they will play the remainder games on
Next week?
next week.
Yep. That's a good time to bring up the schedule to see where we are in this Europe West division. Unfortunately, Fnatic starting at the bottom, 1-8. But at the top, Team Tinker, 5-1. 4 Anchors, 4-2. Alliance, 3-2. Now, there's a couple of matches still left to be played. Tomorrow we have 4 Anchor versus Alliance, I believe. Mm-hmm. Is that correct, production? Yep. So
I think it's 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 2 games. And that's actually going to determine a big part of this group. Although you really can't say until
They're
the
playing
Alliance
a third
versus
game.
Tinker match.
Their
as
third
well.
game is against Team Tinker. It's twice against Alliance.
Yeah, but they
against
cannot
Tinker.
play against Team Tinker tomorrow, because originally the game versus Team Tinker was going to be played today.
Okay.
Team Tinker, the problem that they have is that they couldn't play Thursday onwards because they had to go to D2CL. So the last game to accommodate was going to be played today and casted tomorrow. Since there were these problems with scheduling, and Team Tinker also had problems playing later into the game, they asked to reschedule the other game. And to be fair with all the teams, they actually were scheduled to play next week as well with the other games that they're owed. So tomorrow there will not be that game. There will be the Alliance versus
4 Anchors.
4 Anchors and Sea Captain, barring a solution. I mean, pending a solution with their ISP, which, according to the ISP, should be fixed by tomorrow.
Cool.
So what we're saying is we will not find out who qualifies till next week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might find out, actually, because if 4 Anchors plays Alliance tomorrow, and 4 Anchors wins their 2 games,
So they will become 6-2.
they will become 6-2 with 1 match left. They will be qualified,
No matter what happens to
no matter what happened to Alliance. And Alliance will be 3-4, meaning that,
Well, here's the thing, though. Alliance could still beat Tinker 2-0.
yes, and that would put them in a tie 5-4 and actually qualify over Tinker.
So we still don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Anchors can qualify tomorrow.
Yep. But they have
If-
to win it all.
Yeah, if 4 Anchors loses it all, Team Tinker and Alliance are qualified, actually. Or at least Team Tinker.
We don't know.
It's okay.
Till we play.
We got a bunch of dead guys on stage.
Yes.
It's fine. We don't have to know.
Well, a bunch of dead guys and a clown.
Yeah.
I'm all bloody.
Happy clown.
Bloody.
I can't help it.
But anyways,
Actually can.
that wraps up the Dreamleague for today. We will see you tomorrow.
What are we talking
Back in the world of the living.
I hit my cup under the pumpkin, and you just like lift it up.
You could have,
Might as well
left it
drink.
there, and it would have been like my fault. It's like my cup. But you actually had to take the credit for it.
Take the blame.
Take the blame.
Yeah. That's what team captains
Anyways.
does. Take the blame.
See you tomorrow for more Dreamleague action.